I'm Generic Redstone Genius, and I recently released the Breacher Missile. If you've not seen that video, it's for walls covered in water like the one you see before me. The way it worked is that it uses a piston to remove a block and put TNT minecarts through the hole, allowing them to get behind the water and blow up without the water preventing them from damaging blocks. People were quick to point out various laggy and expensive ways to stop it, which I'll have something for in the future. But someone gave me a concept for armor in Minecraft, so I took that concept for armor and made this. So to make it a little bit cheaper, we use netherrack for the outer layers, and then for the first layer we have netherrack, we have water on the outside. Now this is just to prevent any basic TNT cannons, anything basic like that, like a basic missile or TNT cannon. Then we have the second layer of netherrack, and in between the layers of netherrack, we have a layer of water. Now this is to prevent the breacher missile, and make sure that even though it'll pierce through this, make a hole in the wall and blow up, it'll just blow up into more water. And then after that, we just have a thicker wall as at the edge of your base, and then from here onwards would be like the base. And then we have another layer of water just to be safe. Now this lime green wool block is just to represent the stuff inside your base that people will have. So this is a fairly common armor concept, having cheap walls with water on them a bit away from your base. That way if something hits it, it's nowhere near anything important. So this is a Burrower missile, and the way it's going to work essentially is we have all these pistons at the front, which is going to allow it to push a hole and keep going through the armor, essentially making it burrow a tunnel through the armor to get deeper into the base. So we obviously have the 4 main pistons, the 2x2 in the middle here, which makes room for the main missile. And then we have all these 2 pistons above to side, left, right, and beneath it to make sure that, first of all, this doesn't get unblocked, and to also make sure that no block sticks to here, to make sure that there's a block of air around all these blocks here. There's slime and honey blocks because they can stick. So the way this missile will work against this armor is quite simple. It will simply burrow a tunnel all the way through these walls and simply get all the way through and be able to hit this giant block of lime green wool. Now you might be wondering, because a real enemy base is not going to just be a couple of walls followed by a giant cube of wool. There'll be stuff in it, so that's essentially what this gap is simulating, because once the missile pierces through the wall, it'll be able to push a little bit further into the base, because there'll be some stuff there, some blocks there, but it won't be solid, so it'll be able to push maybe another 10 to 15 blocks into the base before it's stopped by hitting the piston push limit, and it'll stop and blow up. So that gap is just simulating that, and then we just have the lime wool here just to show you how much damage it'll cause. So to activate the missile, we're simply going to update the rear upwards facing observer. And as you can see, all those pistons are firing, and that's going to push all the way through and get right into the heart of the base. So I'm going to pop into spectator mode quickly. That way I can fly through the walls and we can follow it through. So you're going to see it's going to push through the first layer of netherrack, second layer of netherrack, through the triple wall of the smooth stone, and it's going to push all the way through. And then it's going to blow up. It's cost an insane amount of devastation. Anything above and below is completely devastated, and I got a good bit into the base. And any blocks that were here, please remember that it's just simulating, the gap is just simulating that it's not going to be solid, there'll be air blocks. So whatever's here is all gone. And another thing it does is it makes a hole. So this is perfect for if you're trying to attack and you can come through here. Or if you happen to have a TNT cannon, if you want, you can try and perfectly align a TNT cannon so you can fire right through this hole and continue damaging their base. Or you can just fire another regular missile through there. Just like any of them, like the regular nuclear missile. And they'll continue doing damage to the base. So usually before I do the tutorial, I usually run down quickly how it works, but I think I've explained a lot, and I think I'll just explain the rest while I do the tutorial. So yeah. So what you'll need to build this is 10 slime blocks, 4 honey blocks, 16 observers, a sticky piston, 19 regular pistons, around a stack or 2 of building blocks, a rail, a block of TNT, and you don't need the flinted steel. It can be any way that you want to update the observer to start it, so it can just be a block if you want, but flinted steel's easier. If you have that, I'd use that. And then you'll need some TNT minecarts. I'd recommend using anywhere from 25 to 75 for this one. So I'm going to build the thing in speed chunks, as that's essentially how you build it. So we're going to start off by piling up the level you want to build that. Let's say we chose here. I'll break this box away. And then we're going to place a block here, and we're going to place an observer facing downwards. So we're making this missile going that way, the way I'm facing. So we're going to start by placing our first piston. We're going to be placing in a slime block here, an observer facing this way, no slime there, a sticky piston here, and a slime block there. So just to confirm themselves going that way. Then from here, we're going to be placing an observer facing downwards, a piston facing this way, an observer here, another observer here, here, and then a piston here. So that is the first chunk done. So for the second part, we're simply going to have to keep a gap between it. So we're going to place a block there. Don't place a slime block off of that. Now we can just break the block so we don't forget. And we're going to make it like an L shape like that. And then we're going to place an observer here. And we're going to place a piston off of that. And then what we're going to do is be placing our block of TNT here, our rail here for the TNT minecarts eventually. We're going to be placing an observer here, and then 2 pistons like so. Another observer here, our piston like so. And then we just need to place 3 blocks atop just to make sure that the TNT minecart is protected from getting water on it. Otherwise this might happen. So yeah, we don't want that. It's just a giant waste. And essentially we have the gap here, which is going to make this observer only, it's going to be firing constantly, but it'll only actually be close enough to TNT to blow up once it's compressed. And then obviously we just have this pushing here, which is that attachment, which is fired by this observer, and this observer pushes that, and that's the basic flying machine. Okay, so now for the final bit, what we're going to do is be placing our slime blocks like so, and there actually needs to be a block in between, so we can just do like that. Then we need to be placing 2 honey blocks, 2 slime blocks, and 2 more honey blocks. Now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to be placing a bunch of blocks around it like so. And then what we're going to have to do is place in 2 observers here, 4 observers across like this, and then 2 here. And then we can have to fill in all these blocks here just so it's all together. And then we're just going to fill up this entire thing with pistons. So that all looks good. So of course when you're actually going to fire it, you'll place the 25 to 75 TNT minecarts there. And just to quickly explain how this works, it's just all the observers power that, this pushes that forward. It's pretty simple. So we'll just load it all up. And let's see if it works. See if I didn't make any mistakes. And you see it works perfectly. Usually, I didn't make many mistakes in the tutorial. Usually that doesn't happen. Usually you have to go back and edit a lot. So that's pretty good for me. So I hope you've all enjoyed this. I hope you decide to build it and you can use it on a server or something. And yeah, I'll catch you next video. I've been the Generic Redstone Genius.